Hello there, guys, and welcome back to my channel. I can't even say my own intro properly anymore. I am literally blown away. Like, I thought there was a chance we're going to win this game. But 3-0, a complete thrashing, complete and utter domination, other than that one chance that we gifted them through a mistake in the first half. After that, it was literally perfect. Like, Barcelona were terrible. Let's not lie about it. But, we'll get to that later. We were literally perfect, other than that one mistake from Reece James in the first half. I mean, we should have scored way more. We won 3-0, and frankly, we should have scored about 7. Do you know what I mean? Like, if we could just be a bit more onside. Obviously, they have a very much, they have known for the offside trap. So let's not be too harsh on our guys for being offside a few times. But I'm blown away, man. I'm absolutely blown away. Dimitar, thank you for joining me on such a wonderful night. Chelsea 3, Barcelona 0, Champions League. It's only the league phase. It's not quite at the stage where we want this kind of result and this kind of game. Don't know how you felt beforehand, but I didn't see a 3-0 on the cards.
I also didn't. I definitely didn't. I thought we could get the result. I was probably expecting a goal-scoring draw. I think I wrote it in our chat, maybe a 2-2 or something like that, but clean sheet and an absolute thrashing. I didn't expect that. Definitely not.
No, it's actually insane. Like, it's actually insane. I mean, what a picture. What a picture. I love that they didn't use their usual post-match graphic, but just took a picture with some smoke or fog, whatever the hell is going on, with just the in-stadium LED boards. Yeah. Wow. What a performance, man. And that's the crazy thing. Like, we scored the first goal that we had disallowed after like 3 minutes. Like, it was literally non-stop. It's not like we took a few minutes to get going. It's nothing. Like, we had 4 disallowed goals. One of them VAR changed to actually count. So we had 3 disallowed goals on top of the 3 actual goals we scored. It's actually crazy. Genuinely crazy. And at first, honestly, I think all of us thought that the first goal that did stand, the Kounde own goal, I feel like all of us thought that it was offside from Cucurella, but then it just wasn't. What a strange game of football. I mean, Dimitar, going into this game, did you like, what was your expectation? Like, I know you just spoke about it in terms that you didn't expect a 3-0 and yet you expected a high-scoring draw. But I feel like I was surprised by, we seemed so ready for that. Like, it's not like I'm 100% surprised by it because, like, obviously we turn up for big games. But what we often don't do is play a good game for the whole game, even in those big games. And I feel like today we did that. Yeah, of course, the red card sure has played a part. But, watch Man United yesterday. They were 1 man up against Everton and still lost. Do you know what I mean? It's sometimes easier said than done. I was just, in every way, shape, or form, we'll get to the lineup in a second, but the team, we just felt, I don't know, did you feel like it was a bit of a litmus test and a bit of a, we had the Bayern game where we weren't quite ready, and now we had the Bayern game and now we are ready? Like, I'm not saying to win the Champions League and win the Premier League, but ready to, like, always compete when it's a big game type thing.
Well, most definitely. I mean, you are right. We were set up very well and we kept our concentration for the entirety of the game. Even like in the last seconds of the extra time, we were looking for another goal and we almost had one, to be fair. But yeah, I mean, I think this is showing a big growth from last season, where even in the Conference League, we were shaky a bit against some mediocre teams, where even though we knew we were going through, we were still shaky and not concentrated. But now I think that they are very much up for it. And I have to say here, a lot of the credit goes to Maresca. Perfect setup, perfect starting lineup, even though I was a bit shocked. But basically 20 minutes in, you could understand every single thing he did. And I think, it was just perfect execution, perfect tactic. Like, everything was really perfect. Except maybe from that Malo Gusto yellow card in the first half, I think maybe everything was basically perfect about this game, really. Like, even the chance we gifted them, it was so early in the game, you almost forget it. Yeah, and believe me, I did, until they showed like a replay of it 7 times on the halfway, because on the halftime show, because Barcelona had nothing else. So, like... Yeah.
For the second half, they still had nothing else. There was the one save Sanchez had to make quite at the end, but I can't lie, I was trying to make the thumbnail for this stream and I didn't even see the chance properly. I just heard the commentator scream.
It was nothing serious. It was nothing serious, like routine save.
But there you go. I'll go through a couple of your messages in the chat, guys. Ricky says Yamal's just a shit Estevao. I feel like we've had that one, or we'll see that one a few times in the chat here. Best performance I've seen in a long time. Kubi says, what a game. Delap is the best player in the world. I mean, okay. Solid victory by Andre. Bloody hell, you are difficult to please. My days. Didn't expect to win today, and a red card again, this time for Barcelona. You didn't expect to win. Well, see, sometimes a little bit of optimism serves you well. Although at the same time, maybe you'll feel even more buzzing now because you expected us not to win, and now we did. So, there's pros and cons to everything. Hi, mate. Hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well too, Said. I hope you're doing well too. A red card against Barcelona in the Champions League. Now I've seen it all. Literally, one. It's so true. Like, my God, a red card against Barcelona. It was the most blatant red card as well, in the sense of the second yellow card. It is quite funny that he got the first yellow card for moaning, even though he's the captain who is meant to be allowed to talk to the referee. So I did find that's how he got his first yellow card.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, also the commentator on my game said he'd probably never seen the captain get a yellow card for like moaning at the referee. Because it's...
I mean, I've definitely seen it before a few times, but this ref was a bit weird. Sometimes he didn't let things go, and sometimes he was super like, I don't know, strict, I guess, but yeah, it's unbelievable. Time pass comes to one of our heroes of the day, Cucurella. Oh my days, what a performance. I mean, it's not like I'm surprised, and I was so confident he was going to lock Lamine Yamal up, but I didn't expect him to lock him up like that. You know what I mean? It was bloody unbelievable. He's every game, but he was bloody unbelievable. JC also says you're just a shit Estevao. I can't even decide if Estevao or Liam Delap is my man of the match. What's up? Love to be here when Chelsea wins.
The Liam Delap fan club are activated.
I don't know where the fan club is coming from. Maybe it was still in early already, but there you go. I thought this was Kras, the FIFA YouTuber. Sounds well. I'm not sure if you are Kras, Dimitar, but maybe you can start as a lookalike. I don't know, Kras.
I actually look a bit like him. Yeah, he's also Bulgarian.
Oh, well, there you go. That would explain why you look a bit like him. It's so hard to pick one man of the match, too. That's how good our players are. Yeah, well, how good our players were today. It was genuinely unbelievable. Now, let me get up the lineup that we started with today. Now, we'll have to shift it around a little bit because, in particular, Gusto's position was a little bit unclear at times, let's call it. But this was the very base of it. And the one big shock, I suppose, was Pedro Neto up front. Now, Dimitar, you, of course, will not have listened to my podcast with Pys, but me and Pys did a podcast, obviously, reacting to our win against Burnley, looking ahead to this Barca game. And we talked through the lineup that we'd like to see. And I quite literally named exactly this 11. Because I don't know, I just had I'm like, I don't like Delap at the moment. I don't like João Pedro at the moment. I'm like, sod it. They play a high line. What if Pedro Neto is playing up front? But I started to have this idea as the Burnley game went on because Neto didn't come off and Estevao didn't come on. So I was like, maybe Estevao is actually starting. But I just could not see a world where Maresca would not start Pedro Neto for this game. I just didn't see that happening. But it became so clear that Estevao was going to start. So I was like, maybe he's just going to play him up front. And that's what he did. And I thought it was going to be like the PSG tactics. And maybe at times that a little bit it was like that, where you can essentially call Gusto the right mid in possession and then create a four behind the wannabe striker. But it wasn't really that. Sometimes, but also not really. Like, it was honestly a bit more like a front three of Garnacho, Neto, and Estevao. And then you had a box midfield behind that. That's kind of more what it was. And then there was obviously some fluidity. Estevao was coming inside, Gusto was coming wide, Neto was coming wide, etc. There was obviously a lot of fluidity to it. But I think that was the main principal base shape that we had, kind of this box midfield, and then a front three before that, and a back three behind that. I mean, a lot of people were obviously surprised. And you see, even seeing your face, you were surprised that I even called for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just like the form that our two actual strikers are in and the way I thought Barca would play. The interesting thing is now that the game didn't really play out the exact way I thought in terms of us having super loads of space in behind, catching them on the break many times, them, being one on the front foot on the game quite a lot. That didn't really happen. So the whole reason why I wanted to go with Pedro Neto didn't really transpire this way. But bloody hell, did it make our press good? Because Pedro Neto was absolutely our press in general.
You say
that. I don't want to just keep waffling. What was your take on the lineup, and why did it surprise you so much?
First of all, you say that, but we actually got in behind the lines a couple of times, even though they were a goal down with a man down. They still they didn't defend like an Everton would, let's say, yesterday. They didn't defend. So even though they were a bit of a middle block, Neto was still very useful on the counter and behind the lines. And then for the starting 11, I was really shocked for about 5 minutes. And then I thought, well, wait a second, this is Barcelona. This is Hansi Flick. They really try to play that rock and roll football where they score 5 and concede 4 and win the game. So this makes sense. What I honestly didn't expect is really, like you laid it out here, for Gusto to be so far up the pitch. Because this is one of the things which I didn't like from us last year, when we were using the left or right center back, wing back as a second 10, so to say. I didn't like that last year because there were a lot of times where Gusto or Cucurella, they were getting themselves on the end of crosses and in positions where you would want to see Palmer or Enzo. But today this was executed a lot better, I believe, because Gusto, he never attacked the box directly. He was just in and around the box, and he really helped, I think, give a lot more space to Enzo, who I feel was very good today. He was very mobile, very fluid with the ball. He tried to dictate tempo, and I really, really liked how he played. Also, of course, Caicedo and James, like usual, sweeping up everything in the middle. They didn't give Frankie de Jong even 1 second to breathe. He was absolutely useless this game. Yeah, he was absolutely useless.
I do agree. I have a little bit of a surprise for you in a second, Dimitar, that you're unaware of, but we'll get to that. First of all, message by Fantasy PGA Tour, and he's been a member for 52 months. Shout out. Round of applause to Fantasy PGA Tour. What a guy. Appreciate you. He says, title charge is on. Stephen Cole in the same 11. Oh my God, I hope it happens so soon. I think Cole Palmer will be at least on the bench against Arsenal. The fact that he's hopping about, running about, even though he has a broken toe, I think he's going to be fine on the weekend. But, well, thank you for your message. And we'll get through a couple more of your messages in a second. The surprise for you, Dimitar, is that we actually do player ratings again, but it's a bit different now. Because... well, mainly I started it because I was doing a lot of streams on my own, and then at some point I need to fill time. But the main thing is, just as an example, I'll give Robert Sanchez a 10. Look how nice the player rating looks up there. And because it looks so nice, I was like, okay, I need to do it now. And now I can make it, I can even do one better. When we then name the man of the match at the end, we name it here, and then the rating becomes gold.
Oh, wow.
Isn't it sexy? That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying.
Definitely looks nice.
Note, because we will talk about a lot of the game, let's just get into the player ratings. But you were going to say, go on, please.
I just wanted to say also the defense and the midfield, this is probably the best discipline I've seen from them maybe ever. Like, great seriously, point. Just ever. I hope, I knock on wood, I don't jinx them for the Arsenal game, but like everyone just didn't put a foot wrong, really. And this is... I'm very, very surprised, and I'm very happy. And like I said again, all the credit to Maresca. Perfect setup. Like, really,
maybe it was even like something that was really important to Maresca, because Gusto was the only guy that got booked, and he took him straight off. We don't know. Gusto maybe is a little bit hurt, like of that challenge that he had with Lewandowski, and maybe he's also like wasn't 100% well anymore. But I even thought Cucurella got booked, but it wasn't even him. It was Maresca that got booked for moaning about the decision, which is really good. Fafana was good as well. CP says, I'm an Ipswich fan, been part of the Delap fan club for over a year. Well, fair enough. Appreciate you tuning in, mate. Prime Chelsea against PSG type performance. Yeah, it really was. Barca fans are so buttered. It is hilarious. And no, it truly is hilarious. We'll get to a couple of quotes later. And we're not hanging about as long as we once did on the player ratings. We're just going to go through it and then just talk through the moments of the game as they happen with the players. I feel like it makes the most sense that way. But obviously, as usual, some players have gotten out of the way quickly. I don't really know what rating to give Robert Sanchez, but he had literally nothing to do other than one save at the end. I'm so happy about the performance. I'm going to give just everyone a high rating. So I'm like, anywhere between a 7 and an 8, I'm happy. Like, whatever you want to do, bro.
I would say 7.5. Can we do 0.5 here?
Yeah.
Or no? Yeah, so 7.5 minimum for everyone. I think it's absolutely fair. And for him, only because really he didn't have to do anything. Like, seriously. Maybe he touched the ball 3 times in the entire game. It was insane. He was just like so happy.
It's literally what it felt like. I mean, I can get it up how many touches he had. I'm sure he had a few goals of passing it backwards and stuff, right? But also his pass completion,
with his hands,
he had even 50% long balls completed, man. It's unbelievable.
Actual touches with his hands, I'm pretty sure he touched it twice or thrice. Just seriously.
He had two saves. Two saves. So Yeah, one was 0.04 xg and one was 0.07 xg. So that really was much for him to do. But Robert, you did well, and we're happy at the moment. I'm happy with him, and I'm not going to moan.
Yep.
Let's see what Mike Penders does. Less said about Robert Sanchez. Why he isn't doing anything bad, the better. The one slight question mark. Now, I said I wanted Chalobah next to Fofana. I think it was always very clear that Fofana would start today after being left out completely on the weekend. But the slight question for me was who would be the guy next to Fofana, kind of between Cucurella and Fofana, because I did think the setup would be a little bit like that. So Cucurella, rather than going forward, can be there to take care of Lamine Yamal. But I wasn't really sure whether Chalobah or maybe Badiashile or maybe Tosin, there was really a case for all three of them. You could even make a case for Achapong, but it was quite clear it wouldn't be him. But all three of the others, I was like, I can't rule out that Maresca will go for any of these three. So first of all, what did you think of Chalobah starting? Was that a surprise for you at all? And what did you make of his performance?
Absolutely not. One thing you can say about him for sure is he's been fit and he's been firing for a long time. One thing which was like the missing jigsaw and the missing puzzle in him for me is that his concentration levels were basically like all over the place. He can have 10% concentration today and like 95 tomorrow. And this was one of those games where he was perfect from start to finish. I hope he can find a bit of form, because if he can keep a relatively stable level, we don't need him to be the next John Terry. We just need him to be the next Gary Cahill. Just be stable, just be there, and do as least as possible of like stupid stuff, and he's gonna be fine. Because he's talented, he just needs to keep his head in the game, I would say. And as far as ratings go, I would say 8, because he also didn't have a lot to do, but he did it well.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
I'm happy with that. I was thinking either 7.5 or 8, so I'm very happy with that. I can only agree. Like his confidence and his, concentration levels were right up there. I loved how he was like celebrating every tackle that he made. He was like proper shouting into the crowd, which is, I don't like every player in the team being like that, but I think especially centre backs having a couple that have that kind of mentality. Obviously, Levi Kobel, when fit, certainly has that and likes to celebrate tackles and stuff. I think it's important to especially for the defenders, especially in a game like today where it's kind of easy for the defenders. Hyping yourself up like that in those moments is how you keep the concentration high, I think, even when a game becomes almost a bit easy. But he did really well. Obviously Barca pressed us. We kind of did well to play around their press, but I felt like it was more tactically we did really well to play around their press, rather than that it's individual players were super special to make it happen. As a whole, we were just super special to make it happen. So, really, really good.
In the defense, definitely. In the defense, it just felt like normal tactical stuff. But in the attack, I feel that's where we had singular special moments from individuals where that made a difference.
Yeah, 100%. No, it's absolutely true. A moment, so in the build-up and the way we beat their press, because that's obviously how you then get the ball to those forwards that can hopefully do their thing. Honestly, Fofana, for me, I just keep it short and simple. I'd give him an 8 as well. I didn't see anything that he did worse or better than Trevor Chalobah. He had a different role in defense. He was very aggressive. He nearly scored one as well at the time. 3-0. Just very good, very happy. I'm really happy with just leave him out completely if you have to on the weekend. Okay, this weekend, I don't know about Arsenal, but, like we did against Burnley. If that's what it takes, but we can once a week get this level of Wesley Fofana, I'll take it. This level of Wesley Fofana is a very, very good player. Is he an £80 million centre-back still? 70 million, whatever we paid? Maybe not. But he's a very good centre-back. Would you go along with the 8 if that's what we gave Chalobah as well?
I was actually thinking 8.5 from my perspective, because he was progressing the ball. We know when he's on form, he can do that. But this game, for me, it was especially a bit more impressive because Barcelona are normally a good midfield team, a good team in the midfield, and a good pressing team. And he just went along with the ball with such ease. It was like he was playing against a Sunday league team. It looked effortless. Not, of course, for everyone it did, but for him, I was really impressed because he's not the kind of guy who is always fit and always confident. And he just looked like he's been doing this for years, every week. Just passing, sliding through players, carrying the ball, not losing it. I mean, you are right. He is a very good center-back. Probably not 80 million worth, but very, very good nonetheless. Yeah.
Just has to stay fit. Just has to stay
just
fit.
has to stay fit. Yeah, seriously.
Exactly. You know what? I'll give him the 8.5. Why not? I don't mind it. I'll get to Cucurella though, because maybe you're gonna say and think, and some of you in the chat as well are gonna think I'm going overboard here. I'm giving him a 10. I just don't see what in the role that he played today you can possibly do better than he did. Like, you know, Lamine Yamal touted as either the best player in the world or one of the best players in the world or the best talent in the world. And, you know, just scrolling through Twitter, if you're going through a For You page rather than only what you're following, the amount of posts by like,
I know.
Fan pages that weren't even Barca fan pages, but everybody was like, Lamine will show Estevao levels and this and that. Like, there was so much about Lamine Yamal. He got hooked. Cucurella absolutely bodied him in every single sense of the word, and he wasn't even nasty. Lamine Yamal is lucky because they're obviously friends from the national team. Because every other winger, Cucurella doesn't just destroy, but he's also nasty to him. But Lamine Yamal was friendly. He was nice. He still destroyed him. Yep. Like, his pressing, his tackling, no body feint could do him. Absolutely none. When we got hit on the break, he was showing all the pace in the world. My God, it was unbelievable. Like, yeah, sure, 10 is maybe overdoing it, but I just feel like in his position, what more could he have done? Like, I just think he was perfect for what he was asked today. What do you think?
I agree. I maybe would say 9.5, but that would still probably be the highest rating for me as well, because he was everywhere. He did everything perfectly. And also what I saw that was very important, sometimes he was also, that's maybe 2 or 3 times, he was tucking into midfield as well, covering for other players, which we know he can do that, but the tactical flexibility to keep Yamal in your pocket, attack when you are needed, and then be in midfield as an extra body when you're needed, this shows a very, very high footballing IQ and very good determination, very good fitness, like just everything, literally everything you want from a player, he has it. So like 10, 9.5, I think it's both the same. He was the man of the match for me also. So yeah, it was just insane.
And don't forget, like Emil said in the chat, he forced the own goal, the 1-0 as well.
Yeah,
that was his ball across that made the 1-0 happen. So I think we'll have to go with the 10. Obviously, you're happy to go with it as well. In the chat, it's very adamant that we need to. Getting bodied by a paella is crazy. I mean, everybody's getting bodied by Cucurella. Tell me the last time a winger got the better of him. Even Olise, like, for me, that's not getting the better of him, but that can maybe be debated. But everybody else, no chance. Absolutely no chance. Yeah, that's Cucurella done. We'll highlight the man of the match when we get to it. Reece James. Obviously, he made the one mistake. Obviously, there was a 2 or 3 smaller mistakes, but this is the one mistake that led to a chance. Yeah, I said something today as I was watching the game. I was like, obviously, there's no. I love Reece James and how nonchalant and how sometimes lackadaisical he is. But I feel like because he's captain in a game like this, I feel like I don't want you strolling. I want you like high intensity all the time. But I'm also like, maybe your muscles can't handle that, so maybe I can't ask that from you. But that's maybe sometimes something I would like to see a bit more of. It's a bit of intensity, like the normal things he does, not just when it's like crunch time and he needs to get to a ball or whatever. But yeah. Probably give him an 8, but at the same time, does he really deserve more than Sanchez? Probably, give him an 8. Would you go along with an 8? Would you go higher? Would you go lower?
I was thinking again a bit higher, 8.5, but I do agree with you that in the first half he did feel a little bit too relaxed, like a little bit too easy on the ball. But maybe that was because he had Gusto next to him, who also had to cover a lot of ground and who also had to shift positions. Because even though you painted him as basically as a 10 in your lineup, he was also going back a lot of the time, and he was covering that right hand side. So I think maybe that also affected James a bit, because if you have the person next to you just constantly flying up and down the pitch, you also have to have a bit of extra spatial awareness, and you have to be maybe more cautious and not taking any risks, because sometimes this confidence a captain should have, it's also like you have to be confidently taking risks maybe. I don't know, but I feel he did, like you said, he didn't do anything wrong. It's just maybe the circumstance of the tactical situation was that he had to have a lot more responsibilities and didn't look that amazing. But I would say 8 or 8.5.
Because that was his role, I'm all that more frustrated by making that one mistake. Because that one mistake, if they go 1-0 up, the game can go very differently. Now we sit here 3-0. We're happy as ever.
No,
But if
you
we
are
go
right.
1-0
You are right.
down, who knows what happens? You know what I mean? And there's just no need for mistakes like that. So I'll let's go with the 8. But I hear what you mean. Fantasy says still an 8 for me, not as good as his usual standards, but still good. Had a couple of good efforts on goal. He did, to be fair. He did, to be fair, as well. And just to go back to this message from you, Fantasy, best left back in the world is not a crazy shot at all. I think it's him and Nuno Mendes, and otherwise there's not even anyone in a conversation, really.
Yeah,
unless you're
sure.
considering Konrad Laimer as a left back now because he's playing there for Bayern. No, it's Kuka and Nuno Mendes. But yeah, Reece, take the 8. Captain, I mean, I just love that he's all the time fit and playing. Like, he started back-to-back games, and he will start Arsenal again, and it's just normal. He's been fit for over a year now. Like, it still blows my mind.
Knock on wood.
It still blows my mind, really. The fact that he's just fit all the time. Bro, Moise Caicedo, man. Moise Caicedo. There was 1 or 2 passes where I was like, I wish you played a better pass here. But some of those tackles, that one tackle on Lewandowski in the first half, outrageous. Outrageous. I'm saying 9. What are you saying? I think he'd.
I agree. I mean,
typical Moise Caicedo, but he's a joke how good he is, isn't it?
Yeah. The thing in this game, it actually looked so easy for him. Like, some of these things, when he does them, sometimes they don't look so easy, so it's impressive. But this time, really, for everyone in the midfield and the team in general, but the midfield specifically, it looked so easy. They completely took every one of their Barcelona counterparts out of the game. It's like Barcelona had me in midfield. Like, they were completely lost, really. And this is like, again, all the credit to Maresca, all the credit to the players. They were perfect tactically, disciplined. Everything was like spot on. I just have no words for it, really.
Truly. One verse saying, burying that ghost of 2009 Oviedo.
Oh, no, bro. That ghost will never be buried.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that as well, in a way.
We could have won 10-0 today. We could have won 10-0 today. It still wouldn't be enough. Like, we have to win 10 times 10-0 to start being enough.
Yeah, well, or in like another semi-final or final. That would help. But, league. I'm back.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you had a little blip. Yeah.
Good. Everything was circling for a second. Ricky, I will get to your super chat in a second. I just want to quickly read out a couple of Caicedo's stats. He had the most passes in the game with 69 out of 73 passes completed. He had 4 out of 5 long balls. He had 3 out of 5 ground duels. He had 10 recoveries. He had 2 clearances, 2 tackles. He's Moise Caicedo. Of course, he's brilliant, but it just still blows me away kind of a little bit more every single time. Quite how good he is and quite how regularly he's this good. Of course, he had a rest on the weekend, but even still, it's crazy. Now, just as a quick halt on the individual ratings, we get to the super chat here by Ricky, and we'll quickly have to talk about it. Dimitar, his question: are we big UCL and Premier League contenders now? Up the chairs. I'll let you answer first before I share my answer.
I would say,
is a game and a win like this enough to change your mind on a big question like this?
I would say for the Prem, I definitely feel this squad isn't ready enough to go all the way. But for the Champions League, I would say we are definitely dark horses. After such a performance, because we are, again, a young team, not a lot of experience, but we can definitely beat probably everyone in a one-off game. The question is, what will happen in those tough, like semi or quarter-final matches where we have to play Bayern, PSG, or Barcelona again? Because we have proven on a one-off game we can beat anyone. The question is, can you do it over 2 legs? Can you overcome the drama? Can you overcome the tension? Can you overcome the challenge? This is the question. But yeah, I think in a one-off game, everyone can be absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, and I completely agree. Like, Ricky, I love the hype. But at the same time, no, we're nowhere near ready for the Premier League. I'd be positively surprised if we are ready next year, if I'm being honest. Like, I think we're still quite a bit away from being ready to win the league. I hope we are ready next year, but I don't really think so. I think we can make ourselves ready next year by having a surprisingly good season this year and staying kind of in and around the fight until April. If we can achieve that, I think we stand a significantly better chance next year. Champions League, like Dimitar said, honestly, even before the season started, I was like, I'm not saying we were favorites or I think we're going to win it, but I was like, don't rule us out here. Because like you said, the fact that the way we beat that PSG team, it's we've got big game mentality and we've got big game players and we've got a manager that seemingly has a way of figuring out tactics for big games. So it puts you into a fairly good position. But obviously, like Dimitar said, 2 legs is a whole different story. Like, obviously, if you beat teams 3-0, like we did today and like we did PSG in the final, 3 legs is fine. 2 legs is fine because you're not going to bowl at 3-0 probably. But, sometimes it can obviously make things a lot more difficult. Ricky, appreciate it again, the super chat. I hope we win Champions League. Let's just put it that way. Now, let's get back into the player race. I guess Gusto, and obviously, like you said, there was certainly a way. Gusto was somewhere roaming in this area all game long. We have to put him. Maybe I should put them a bit wider so it looks a bit more natural because Enzo was a bit wider. It wasn't like too central all the time. But let's give Gusto his rating. 1 slightly dodgy pass. Otherwise, in that first half that he played, I thought he was utterly brilliant, bro. I thought he was really good. There was some top tackles. And I love the fact that seemingly that goal he scored unlocked something in him. Because since he scored that goal, he's finally been like the Gusto in the first season he was here. I'm like, finally, you look quick again. You look sharp. You look smart. You look technically great. Even that yellow card, I know you like kind of said it is a bad thing, but I'm like, take the yellow, man. I don't mind. No. I'd rather you take the yellow than them equalize in that moment. I'll tell you that much. So, honestly, I think he warrants an 8.5. What would you say?
I agree. And for the yellow card, I mean, that was the only small part which maybe was the small negative. But yeah, you are right. Overall, he was very good. He was also, I think, disciplined. And again, he had a difficult role to fulfill because he had to attack and defend basically in a matter of seconds. So I think he did his job very good. And I also think Maresca he's using him better. Because I think last season he probably maybe misprofiled him a bit, especially in the middle part of the season where we struggled so much, like from January to March, where we struggled so much. I think he misprofiled him. And I think now he's probably understanding that Gusto actually is best operating in a dynamic midfield role where he can actually, like you said, make those tackles, make those runs, go in space, like cover for his teammates. He's not that good in defending one-on-one, and he's not the best at attacking one-on-one. But being in and around the action where the ball overload is happening, I think this is where he excels. And today he was a very big help to the midfield. Like at times it looked like we have a 5-man midfield, really. Like we completely dominated it, and at times honestly, it probably was. It
was the case in the second half as well. Obviously, in the second half they were down to 10 men, so we always had that extra man, obviously. But and honestly, I think he is getting much better at this one-on-one defending. Like, honestly, I think he was decent at it the whole time, but then he just sometimes has these weird stinkers. But yeah, Gusto did very well. What? Go on.
Like, if you see how you have placed the team, I think he can one-on-one defend basically on the halfway line when it's not like you say, it's not a high-risk situation. I think if he's in the place where Fofana is now, and if he has to one-on-one defend there, I wouldn't trust him. Because there he can make... But
obviously, you've got to say, when Barca had the ball, we did obviously drift back into more this kind of shit.
Oh, yeah,
I mean? Probably... Oops, that was the wrong one. Probably this kind of, like, off the ball. Yeah. It was a bit like this, but... So I know what you mean, but obviously sometimes when Barca did decide to actually start attacking, which wasn't a lot... He did have to drop and help out there as well. But yeah, by the way, something else that we should mention, because the way we do with player ratings, the moments for oppositions is obviously a bit more difficult. Cucurella also got Araujo sent off. So Cucurella really had an all-in game.
Oh, yeah,
He seriously did. But Gusto with an 8.5, I think he'll be happy. I have to push Estevao out here a little bit because otherwise Gusto's rating is hidden. And we'll get to Enzo. And honestly, like you said, I thought he was really good, man. I thought he was really good. I'll hear your rating first because I'm a little bit unsure, but in my head I'm thinking a bit too high. But it's honestly like it was only 2 weeks off, and he just didn't go to Argentina. But he looked so much, like you said, you used the word mobile earlier. He looked so much more mobile and quicker against Burnley and today. And it's quite crazy. Like he had 53 out of 62 passes in his advanced position. He had a shot on target as well. 2 out of 6 crosses. 2 out of 6 long balls. To be fair, ground duels was only 1 out of 8. But to me, he was top. He was really, really top. And also, like I keep saying it, mentality-wise, I think he's so important for this team. Like he's the real, like Enzo is obviously Reece is obviously the leader and the captain, but he's a different kind of personality. And I feel like when Reece is your captain, you need like a vice captain, another personality in the team that's like Enzo. He's like screaming and on it, and like that South American passion. And I just love it. I was initially thinking 9. I know I said I was going to wait for you, but then I got distracted by fantasy saying nothing short of 9.5, which seems a little bit high to me. So now I didn't feel as going as high anymore by saying 9. So now I'm intrigued what you say, bro.
I was honestly torn by the two options, 9.9 or 9, but I think seeing as we gave Cucurella a 10, maybe we can give him a 9.5 because he really, I think he was also very crucial for this victory. Because I said it again, he was mobile, and if you look at the lineup, sometimes maybe the players who are next to him also influence his behavior. Because if we can imagine he had Delap and Joao Pedro next to him, then he cannot be so mobile because they themselves are not mobile players. But here in this case, he had Garnacho, extremely rapid, very mobile. He had Pedro Neto, extremely mobile. He had Estevao, extremely mobile, so also he has to adapt his play to his teammates, and I think this suited him very well because he had to be every time very quick with his feet, he had to be very sharp with his mind, and he saw almost all of the runs and he tried almost all of the passes. And I think this is what we want to see from him. Hopefully Maresca can manage some sort of formation or lineup where we have speed and control for the Premier League, because I don't think exactly this style would run in the Premier League, where you have more of low blocks and more of a physicality in the opposition. But if someone tries to play like football, if someone tries to play dynamically against us, it's good to see that we can actually counter that and even destroy that style of football. So for me, 9.5, fantastic. Like you said, he was rested, looked sharp. I hope he saved some energy for Arsenal as well.
I hope he did. And Fantasy PJ Tour, considering you're a member for 52 months, we'll go with the 9.5. He will have it. He shall have it. I'm not sure when that happened, Ricky. Wasn't it Fofana's handball? Because Enzo would have scored the Fofana handball. I don't know when Chalobah would have robbed him. But yeah, there you go.
Or maybe he means offside. Go on. Doesn't he mean an offside maybe? Or no, wait.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the second offside goal. The second offside goal.
Yeah, maybe. But to be honest, if Chalobah, that's why I think it's a fair enough offside, because if Chalobah isn't there, maybe the keeper just comes and collects it. So, like, I don't think you can simply look at it as...
I'm not convinced he touched it or he influenced it.
I'm not either, but he's still there,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm also not sure if he touched it, for being totally honest. Fantasy, I'm just going to read this message out as well. It says a certain part of the fan base need to stop their hate campaign against Enzo. Not only is he a great player, but I don't think it's possible for him to put anything under 110% effort. Yeah, I find it a strange hate campaign as well sometimes. Like, as soon as he has, like, even an average game, they come out of their little holes and it's just like weird behavior. I'm like, you can say you don't think he's that good, but he's clearly trying so hard for this club, man. Like, at least show him some respect for that. And I think if you're a proper fan, you do show him that respect. And I think a lot of people do. It's a bit of a Twitter thing that makes you think a lot of the fans don't like Enzo. I think the majority by now do. But maybe I'm also wrong, and maybe I'm, talking down the Twitter people and making it up as if they're less people than they truly are. I don't really know. It's difficult to judge, I guess.
If I have to say very short on this one, I also think that it's very hard to judge what a person thinks about a player when they wrote 25 characters about him on Twitter. Because, like, sometimes Enzo does deserve criticism, fact.
Yeah.
Sometimes he deserves praise. So it's very hard also for me sometimes to read 2 sentences and then decide, okay, does this player hate and does this fan hate Enzo? Does he love Enzo? Or did he not even watch the game? So
yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? Like, when it's in reaction to a game, I don't think it's ever an issue. The issue is when it's people saying, like, how bad is Enzo during an international break? You know what I mean? Where it's like nothing's going on and some Chelsea fans just like, Enzo is shit. You know what I mean? Then it's like, then you just have an agenda, man. But yeah, it's one of those. He did really well today and he's been doing really well recently. So big up Enzo Fernandez. Next up, I would probably just about say our worst player on the day, Garnacho. But I also think he was a little bit unlucky. But he could have scored. He could have assisted. He had just messed up the important touches in the important moments. But because you said 7.5 minimum, I'll give it to him. But honestly, in my head, it's more of a 6.5.
Oh, I think that's a bit harsh. I think in reality, he really had the bad luck that all of the action was on the other side. But I think in the few moments where he was involved, he did well. I think for the fourth offside goal, he was phenomenal. Like,
yeah, no, he was true.
I think he took his chances well, and he was also very tactically disciplined because also he was not so far forward up the pitch as maybe he normally would have been if Cucurella had not
he
done
helped Cucurella a lot against Lamine as well to double up. Yeah.
So he knew that Cucurella cannot attack so much forward. So instead of leaving a gap and just running forward, he was a bit more tactically cautious, which I like. But I think maybe worst player of the team is a bit harsh. But yeah, 7.5. I say it's fair.
Fair enough. A couple of people in the chat said 7, but hey, we made the rule 7.5 minimum. We'll go with that. We'll go with that. He made the pass before the pass for the first goal. Great, you know what I mean? But honestly, like I also have to agree with you, Dimitar, in a way, and I did want to praise him for his off-the-ball work as well. Maybe 6.5 was a bit harsh. Maybe I probably would have gone 7 around 7.5, but hey, we'll go with it. He wasn't bad. Like, I don't want to put it that way. He wasn't bad, but if you had a bit of a better touch on 2 or 3 occasions, I think
probably
that helps us score 1 or 2 more goals in those situations. But hey, we win 3-0, so who am I to moan? I'm going to keep Estevao to last from the starters here before we quickly bring in. You know what? Let's actually do Neto, and then we'll quickly bring the subs in, and we'll speak about Estevao last because I feel like he warrants that. Pedro Neto did good. That sprint towards the end on the left, you know, him playing up front, not his usual position. He was fighting.
He should have scored that, though. He should have scored that.
Scored.
Or no, sorry, he should have passed. He should have just passed.
Yeah, he should have just not taken it so far to his right foot. I don't know why he did it, because it kind of limited his options by that point, because the pass got more and more difficult the further out wide to the right he went. So, yeah, it wasn't ideal. But I still think he did enough to get an 8. Or did you think he would deserve more than an 8?
I think more. Like, I think 8.5 would be fair because he was phenomenal in the pressing and he was always looking for those runs. He also, if you watch the game carefully, he made a lot of runs which his teammates did not see, but he always tried to go for a run. And I think this was the tactical idea of Maresca, just always stretch that back line, because this is what also gives space for Estevao. This would also give space for Enzo, for Garnacho. So I think he was also very tactically disciplined, and I liked him. I think he is finally becoming what most of the Chelsea fans hoped he would be last year. Because in the last 5 or 6 games, I think he has 5 or 6 goal and assists, which is phenomenal for him. If someone looks up his career numbers on Transfermarkt, they're not great. But in the last, let's say, 2 months, he's been really excellent.
Doing everything you can ask, really. Yeah, absolutely. All right. I'll have that 8.5. Hey, you know me, David. I'm always down for some extra optimism. So I'm not going to complain about it. So unfortunately, I can put a bench on, but then you can't do the nice ratings like that. So I'll quickly have to remove Gusto. We'll add Andre Santos. Now, honestly, I'm not 100% sure. I feel like Andre was a little bit deeper, but I can't really say Reece played this position either. So I'm a little bit unsure quite how it played out.
I think they were interchanging a lot. I think they were basically like 10 minutes it was like this, and then the next 10 minutes Reece was up forward, and then they were constantly changing. I mean, it was no fixed positions in the second half, especially when we were a man up. We were all over the place. Like,
exactly,
we were just
in a good way.
Empty space at that point in the midfield specifically.
No, I agree, but all over the place, but in a good way. I
mean, we were literally all over the midfield. Yeah,
all over Barca. That's what we were.
Barca,
But Andre Santos, man, honestly, obviously scored on the weekend. He scored today, but he got ruled out. Unfortunately, he scored that goal where Garnacho was unfortunately offside in the build-up. Great finish again. I like him a lot, man. He looks so secure.
The last 2 games, he's been excellent. Yeah, I mean, very impressive.
He looks very mature. Like when he has the ball, like. Yeah, he doesn't feel like a 21-year-old, does he? Like, I don't know. Obviously, I know Caicedo is also only 23 and Enzo is 24. I know, but I don't know, man. He looks very calm and mature for a 21-year-old. I'm very impressed. I'm very happy. Honestly, I would give him an 8.5 like I gave Gusto.
I agree.
You could give him an 8 because the second half was only against 10 men, maybe. So I'm happy with an 8 as well. But I think it deserves more.
I think 8.5 is fair because he really, like you said, he felt mature, and I also think he's now settled into the team. If you remember, in the first few games when we saw him this season, he was very shaky, and we were kind of worried, especially after that Lavia injury, the 25 Lavia injuries. But I think now seeing him today and on the weekend against Burnley, I think he's finally settled in. And I can confidently say that, and also probably Maresca thinks that we can finally have some weekends where we can just rest Caicedo and just not worry about it. Because like maybe 2 months ago, if you had told me that Santos was going to start even against Burnley, I was probably going to be a little bit concerned. But like this weekend,
fair, we were concerned when we saw that.
Yeah, we were. So yeah, I mean,
but he just proved our concerns wrong. But also, shout out Adash, by the way. Appreciate you tuning in. Come on, lads. I haven't been able to pop into a stream for a while, but what a game, what a result. Absolutely beautiful. But yeah, Andres Santos did very well in the second half. Absolutely brilliant. The other sub that I want to talk about, I think we made one other. I can't even remember now. But Delap, obviously he scored, so I'm going to have to kind of include him as well. He came on for Garnacho. When he did come on, of course, Pedro Neto moved over to the left, and Delap was then our striker, and Delap scored, assisted by Enzo Fernandez. I wish I could, give it a little assist sign, like I can do a goal sign. But nice goal. Honestly, I thought he looked decent. Honestly, initially, I thought he missed. I thought he put it wide, and the ball was bouncing behind the goal in the net. And I
thought he was offside initially, to be fair. I thought the offside was for him and not for Enzo, yeah.
Okay.
But you're right. Nice finish, and I also think he tried to get himself involved in the play, which I like. He tried, because he also, for him it's important now to try and get himself inside of the action, because he missed an important part of the season. He's probably still not up to speed, not in perfect shape, and I think this goal can do wonders for him.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Motivation.
I hope so too. And the Ipswich fan over here, lovely analysis of the goal. Delap's positioning for his goal was immaculate. Sat offside and then moved behind Enzo, defender still behind him. Yeah, it was very good. And like Fantasy said, it was a very good finish. So,
this is probably the only thing which he can do, and I would say Jackson can do. Like this move, like 2 steps backwards, not to be in the offside. Perfect. Like he has that instinct for sure.
Yeah,
I would say.
I agree. Would you go along with an 8 for him, man?
Oh yeah, I mean, he was on for 25 minutes, scored a goal, involved himself. I think 8 is pretty much fair.
Exactly. We did also bring Gittins on in the 76th, but by that point it was, it was 3-0. We also brought Achimpong and Tyreek George on for the last 10 minutes. We're not going to give them ratings, but Delap did very well. 8, very happy. And now we have to get to the main man. And I put it on the thumbnail. I put it in the title. Now, obviously, not being fully 100% serious, but bro, is this guy the best player in the world? Like, is he maybe actually maybe the best?
Like talent-wise, he may be, but I think people are going a bit overboard. He's clearly insanely talented. Clearly, he has all of the world at his feet now. What I would say is I am very much happy with how Maresca is playing him. He's managing his minutes very carefully, and I completely agree with that. I see a lot of fans online in our chat group and also friends in real life. They like, why doesn't this guy play every minute of every game? And then you have to realize he's 18. He just turned 18 this year. We have to let him develop. I don't want him to be the next Ansu Fati or the next Pedri or the next person with perennial, just like consistent injuries. Let him grow into his body. Let him play. Let him score winners against Liverpool, against Barcelona, like scoring solo goals, and then let him rest on the weekend. Like it's no big deal. He will have enough time to play Burnley. He'll have enough time to play Leeds. He'll have enough time to play West Ham in his career. Let's just save him for the special moments and let's give him time to develop. As far as the rating goes, I would say 9.5. Second best player on the pitch, a bit ahead of Enzo, a bit behind Cucurella. But yeah, I mean, extremely talented, but let's not go super, super overboard. Like he's not the best player in the world, but he can be. I think he can be. This is no doubt in my mind.
See, Dimitar, I think we're going to have an issue with fantasy now, because fantasy is the reason why we gave Enzo a 9.5, but he wants to give Estevao a 10. So what are we going to do now? I feel like I can't give him a 10. I love the kid, but he should have scored a hat trick.
Do a 9.9.
He should have scored a hat trick. He should have done. Or he should have at least set up 2 more goals. Like those 2 situations where Enzo once fed him, and then the one at the end where he had the ball. Like, I feel like he just got ahead of him. Okay, 9.5. You'll take the 9.5. I'm very happy. You know what? But actually, Dimitar, I didn't hate what you said. Just for the banter, I'll give him 9.9. Why not? Why not? Who cares? You know what I mean? Yeah. What a player he is. I have to give him the goal. That goal, man. That goal, I couldn't believe.
It was magical. Like, it was a bit like Eden Hazard, not as graceful as him, but I'm sure he can get there.
Yeah. But, you know, remember that Eden Hazard goal? I think was it Steaua Bucharest in the Europa League when he scored that left
Slavia. I think you're thinking of Slavia Prague personally, but
maybe that one. Maybe that one. Obviously, that was Hazard's weak foot. This was Estevao's weak foot. But also, it was a bit like Estevao's goal against us in the Club World Cup. You know, obviously, there he hit the underside of the bar, but it was a little bit like that. The balance he has and the shot power he has on his weak foot. No balance. No backlift. Like Aaron said in our group chat, it was 64 miles an hour. I don't know what that is in kilometers because no one cares about miles.
About 80, 85 probably.
No, it's 103 supposedly.
Wow. Okay.
According to Google. 103 is meant to no backlift, weak foot, 18 years old.
No, the shot was crazy. I literally jumped off my chair when I saw it went in. Like, it was insane.
Yeah,
no two ways about it. That was phenomenal. That should probably be the goal of the week in the Champions League by a country mile. If they do such a competition, I actually don't know if they do goal of the week, but if they don't, they should start doing it.
I mean, I don't know. Did he get man of the match? Or did Kukurea get man of the match? He probably
did. Kukurea got it. I think Kukurea got it. Yeah.
Oh, Kukurea did? Okay, there you go. But yeah, Estevao, man. Like, it's not just the goal. Like, obviously, yeah, I mentioned a couple of moments where I could have done maybe a slight bit better, but the through ball to Neto, the touches, he's just so secure. Like, you know, with Garnacho, when the long ball flies over to Garnacho, you're like, is he going to have a good touch? Is he going to have a bad touch? With Estevao, you don't doubt whether he will have a good touch. Like, you don't doubt it. You know, it's like you said earlier, like with Hazard. You know, it's honestly, like, I love Cole Palmer, but when I look at Estevao, that's even another extra level. I'm not saying he's right now better than Cole Palmer, by the way. I'm not saying that. And I completely agree with every word that Dimitar said. Let's not overdo it. Let's not overplay him. I'm completely on board with not overplaying him. I'm very happy with it. And obviously, it's, you know, hyperbole to say, oh, is he the best player in the world? I know. It's, you know, playing on the fact that we obviously played against Lamine Yamal today, who did absolutely fuck all, while Estevao scored an absolute wonder goal. So, yes, he's so good, man.
I mean, if
like,
we
think back to 2 years ago when we signed him, and like he was another one of those. To be fair, he was the youngest one we had signed, and everybody was telling us how he's so great, and we were like, let's see how great he is. And now he's turned up, and we're like, he's gonna play bit parts first half of the season, or who knows how long it's gonna take to settle in. And honestly, it took 2 weeks until every fan was like, you need to start every game. This is not normal, man. This is not normal for an 18-year-old, is it?
I mean, yeah, the talent's clearly there. And I think also if he played for Real Madrid in La Liga against Real Valladolid, against Girona every week, he would probably be touted as the best player in the world right now. Because I think against those teams, playing at Real Madrid or at Barcelona, you just look at that extra bit good. And I mean, not saying he's now definitely better than Yamal, but I think they should be in the same bracket. And of course, one has done it on a bigger stage, one has played already in the Champions League, but I think after this season and maybe after next season, they should seriously be considered on the same bracket, I believe, if Estevao, of course, continues on this track.
Yeah, I can only agree. I honestly, I can't really stop praising him. Like, I really struggle to stop praising him. He's just that good. He's that good. But, you know, I have to give it to still Marco Correa. He gets the golden rating. He gets man of the match. It was just an extra bit unbelievable. But that doesn't diminish at all what Estevao did today. I mean, you know, obviously the winner against Liverpool kind of announced him to the Premier League, I would say. Obviously, it wasn't that much quality of a goal. He just had a tap in. But it was a last-minute winner, which is always big. But I think that goal today, I think that's kind of what announced him to the world today.
Probably, yeah.
I read somewhere today that they were expecting 750 million viewers for this game today, which is kind of like, that's more than 3 times the most viewed Super Bowl. So I don't really understand how that's
stream was constantly crashing, so I can believe that number.
There you go. There you go. 750 million would be crazy. But yeah, Everybody saw that. And also, Emma, good point. He's 18 years old. He's played 5 Champions League games and he's got 3 goals already.
Insane.
It's just, like all competitions, including for Brazil. Okay, one was a penalty. But he's got like 12 goals this season already. And it's not even December. And he's 18. This is stupid. And that's the special thing. Like, he's so talented like a Neymar. But at 18 to have this like the urge and the eye for a goal like he does already is what I find most impressive. And the movement in and around the box, like just the naturally born, gifted understanding of when and where to move. He just has that. It's not just talent he's got on the ball, like a Sancho or like a João Felix, that they can do anything on the ball. But it's about the things off the ball that they struggle with. And Estevao just has it. And he's 18 and he just has it anyway. Like it's a complete joke. Honestly, it blows my mind. I want to quickly, before we round this out, I want to check Dodger's page to see if we can have a couple of nice quotes from Maresca, from anybody else that maybe had anything to say after this game. So we'll read through those, Dimitar, and then we'll wrap it up here. Because also, on this note, I want to go through the manager's quotes because I want to give the manager a rating. Unfortunately, this website doesn't let me do that, but we can obviously do so verbally. Now, Flick said, when you see Chelsea, they play more dynamic in the 1v1 situations. This is what I want from my team. Sometimes we try to control the game, but here against the club playing in the Premier League, second in the table, it's not like that. We have to fight a little bit more and play more aggressively. Yeah. Premier League is just a different ball game. Amazon presenter Gabby Logan, an 18-year-old, stole the show, but it wasn't Lamine Yamal. He's still in Marco Cucurella's pocket. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. John Terry is very happy. Estevao, what a player you are. Yeah, very good. Enzo Maresca on beating Barcelona. For me personally, it's a big win. The other team was Barcelona, but nothing changes in terms of the team we are, what we can achieve. For sure, it's important, but no more than that. It's finished now. Focus on the next one, yeah. And please do the same thing in the next one, imagine.
Oh, yeah.
And to Maresca, on what he said to the lab and Estevao after the goals, the message for Estevao, he had a very good game. Liam also needed this type of moment against Burnley, was quite good, but needed a goal. We had three more disallowed. We created enough to win the game. We sure as hell did. Enzo Maresca on how the players are feeling. Feeling was very good, especially because it was at home with our fans. It was nice to share this type of moment. I told the players to switch off in the next 48 hours. Have to rest, and then on Sunday we have Arsenal. From Friday we start to think about Arsenal. We need to keep the momentum. It's very nice. It's much easier to recover energy when you win games. Yep, it very much is. Enzo Maresca on Estevao and Yamal compared to Messi and Ronaldo. The goal from Estevao reminded me of the goal he scored against us in the Club World Cup. Estevao needs to relax and enjoy his football. Him and Lamine, if you start to talk about Messi and Ronaldo, it's too much pressure for young boys like them. It's too much for them. Yeah, let's not talk about Messi and Ronaldo. Let's keep it a little bit realistic. But you know, the next level below Messi and Ronaldo, wherever anybody individually sees that next level, that's where I think they can go. I'm not like both of them. This applies to both of them. But I think Estevao has a much, much better head on his shoulders and a much, much better surrounding than Lamine Yamal does. And
I mean, we hope. We still haven't
what it looks like so far, at least. Let's say.
Yeah.
He just, I don't know. He just looks much more not. But like you say, like you make a fair point, it can come. You know, a lot of men realize this when at some point they're in their late teens or early 20s, all of a sudden women become much more interesting. Maybe this happens to Estevao a little bit later than it has to Lamine Yamal. So, but that's when the focus matters. You know, that's when the surrounding matters. That's when the discipline, the attitude matters. Is a joke. Honestly, like I love Lamine Yamal as well as a player. Like I'm a big fan. I didn't really think that we'd turn up with a guy who I think might be better. But there you go. Enzo Maresca on PSG Club World Cup final win impact. For sure, winning the Club World Cup gave the players the confidence. Last year, we were playing Conference League, and I said that building a winning mentality was to win games. The only way any competition win games. It's the only way to build a winning mentality. The players are better players in this moment compared to last season. Sure, they are. I mean, we're a bit difficult if we weren't, but there you go. Enzo Maresca was asked, is it difficult to protect Estevao? No. To be honest, because if he doesn't play, Pedro Neto plays wide and Pedro is good. It depends on the game plan. Tonight we decided, in probably the most difficult game of the season, we decided to use Estevao. You say we are unpredictable. The game plan is not always good. Sometimes it is wrong. Estevao, when the game plan is for him, he is going to play. Yeah.
Now, this is clearly a lie because he didn't play him on the weekend so he can play today, but still, I mean, I get what he's trying to say.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure about him saying it's the most difficult game of the season. I don't know, man. I feel like
probably thus far, this is it. Like, or maybe difficult / important. Because
Important, yes.
away is
Important, I
also
agree.
difficult, but Barca at home is special. Like
No. Like I said, I agree in terms of importance, but I think in difficultness, I think Liverpool was more difficult because we played Liverpool before they've collapsed. We were the team that started making Liverpool collapse. To be fair, they started losing 2 games before that, didn't they? So maybe not. But I don't know, like the Liverpool game felt much more difficult than that. I tell you that much. Watching it, I was a lot less convinced that we were going to win against Liverpool than I was tonight watching the game. But
this is true.
I mean, is there any picture of him? I will find one. We haven't given him a rating yet. We can do. What can we say about Maresca today? The setup.
I would personally say a 10 for him.
Yep.
Perfect setup. Like also the subs. I think that the aggressiveness of the Andre Santos sub at halftime cannot be understated. Like he knew the game is there for the taking, and he said, "Okay, we're gonna control the midfield. We're gonna suffocate them. Andre Santos, go boy!" And he did, and we did it. So like I think this is perfect game management. Like probably the best in-game management I've seen ever from him, to be honest. Because also I think that the Delap sub was at the perfect time where he knew that we were just like our goal was coming, and he just put in like a recognized striker there to just like get fed. I think really I was very impressed with him, really.
Yeah, I was. Like you say, the in-game management absolutely spot on, but also the game plan from the start. Obviously, we praised it already earlier, but it could not have been any more perfect. Like, obviously, they had one chance, but that came only through a mistake of their own. Out of their own creativity, trying to beat our defensive setup, they did nothing. Literally nothing. And that is against the team with Lewandowski and Lamine Yamal. And okay, they had a few others on the pitch rather than like Raphinha, whatever. But against a team like that is so mightily impressive, man. Like,
I think I saw somewhere they had, after the 30th minute, they had like 0.0 XG against us. So basically, all of their XG came in the first 30 minutes. And seeing this graph, I kind of believe it.
Exactly. Like you can see where they had any momentum. Obviously, total, they had 0.79. But there wasn't much more than that. And look at the second half, 0.06. Obviously, I can't show you from after the 30th minute.
But I can show you. It's the same. I guess it's the same. Yeah, I guess it's just the same.
Exactly. This chance was 0.57. So of their 0.74 in the first half. So it tells you everything you need to know. I mean, we had 15 shots, 6 on target, 3 big chances, scored 3 goals, not from the 2 big chances that we had.
Of course.
Typical, of course. 98% passing accuracy against Barca. You know what I mean? Like I say, 6 shots on target, 6 shots off target, 3 were blocked. More XG from open play, more XG from set plays. But I want to say this one thing. We tried some very strange free kick routines today, and every single one of them was absolutely awful. So let's not do that again, please. I don't know what we were trying to achieve. Like, honestly, they had just had Araujo sent off. From that free kick where they had their centre-back captain sent off, we had a free kick, and instead of crossing it, we decided to play it short, played 5 passes, lost the ball. What? They lost their centre-back, and they haven't made a sub yet. Put the ball in the box, for God's sake. But this is not like, this is where the manager has nothing to do with it. This is just brain power of the players. I'm sorry, like, bro, just cross the ball, man. It's not that difficult. It's really not that difficult. But what is difficult is to beat how fucking good we were today. And Dimitar, we are now 5th. Obviously, a lot of teams still have games to play tomorrow. But I think now we put ourselves in an actually realistic position to make top 8. Now, obviously, the Karabakh drop points was frustrating. But I always said in the remaining 4, so Barca, Atalanta, Pafos, and Napoli, we can drop points one more time. And the fact that we won today, I think makes us very likely to make this happen.
I agree.
Atalanta are not that good this season. Napoli, I think we can. Like, we just battered Barcelona. Napoli, of course we can beat Napoli.
It's the last game, and I think pretty much by then they will have been completely out of the tournament because we know Kounde in the Champions League is not a good combination.
They did Karabakh. They did beat Karabakh, unlike us, but obviously at home is a bit different.
Yeah. So if we beat Atalanta, I think we're basically guaranteed a top 8 finish because I assume we're gonna beat Pafos at home. Yeah. So let's say we have 6 points in the next 2 games. I think it's gonna be wrapped up then. Because some of these big teams, they also have to play each other because you see both Bayern and Arsenal in front of us, but they play tomorrow. So there's no way where they both get 3 points.
And Inter play Atletico tomorrow, for example.
Exactly, yeah. And also Man City lost today, which is also good for us.
Yeah.
In
They lost to
this
Leverkusen,
sense.
which is kind of
Newcastle
wild.
also lost. Newcastle also lost.
Did they against Marseille, crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So I think
literally
we're
haven't seen
actually
any of the other results, but yeah.
I think we're in a good position. Just focus against Atalanta, and it should be all in our hands, I would say.
It should be. It should be. And what should also be in a way in our hands is what we do against Arsenal on Sunday. Fantasy said it there. Maresca said it's our most difficult game of the season so far. I think we've got the more difficult game coming up on Sunday. I think Arsenal. Honestly, I think Bayern were a much more. Actually, I forgot about Bayern. Bayern are much better than Barca. Bayern was by far our most difficult game so far. I forgot about that game. Yeah. Well, Bayern are better.
How can you forget it? We were there together.
Literally. But I don't know because because I'm so used to watching games on TV. Being there, it's almost like a different thing.
Yeah, like
by the way,
just
guys,
erased the 7-hour car ride. You just erased the 7-hour car ride from your head.
7-hour car ride from town to the stadium.
Yes, of course, yes.
But yeah, it's I think this win today gives us a significantly bigger chance of doing something similar on Sunday. I think the confidence is now crazy high.
I also think the fact that they play tomorrow, and if they, let's say potentially they lose, hopefully they lose, it's gonna sit with them very bad that we have 1 day extra rest and we won. This is gonna be the first thing that Arteta moans about after the game if we win. It's gonna be like first sentence out of his mouth. Yeah, they had 1 day extra, blah blah blah. So I think that if they lose tomorrow, we should beat them. Like we have no excuses not to beat them if they lose tomorrow. I'm going to say it now.
And I think they still don't have Gabriel, so they're unlikely to score from set pieces. So with that, they're definitely without Gabriel, seeing that his cruciate ligament injury. Back in training. Yeah. Oh, that's Gabriel Jesus. Sorry, that's Gabriel. It's bloody hell. 2 Gabriels, you know what I mean? Have been confused. My apologies. We've also got the same fucking haircut, man. Do you know what I mean? Some creativity, guys. Anthony Taylor is the ref. It's not great, but Anthony Taylor was the ref when we played Liverpool and we won in the last minute. So, what if we can do something similar? That would be nice. Fantasy says, if we beat them Sunday, I'm all in on the title race. Now, this is a question, Dimitar. I know we just both answered this earlier, that neither of us think we're ready to win a title. But if we win on Sunday, are we in a title race for now, at least?
I would still say no, because no title races happen in October, November, or December. Okay. I would say if we are 5 points from the top at the maximum in middle of February, then we can talk about title race. Because only Arsenal can win the title in October. No other team can win the title in October because everyone else just waits until May.
Bro, Liverpool won the title in July when they made signings, and all of a sudden they're shit. But I thought they'd won the title when they signed Wirtz and Isak. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't just anybody else.
Yeah, but
there you go.
On a serious note, really just go until February, see where we're there. Because even if we win the next 10 games, we showed last year we can then go on a 5 or 6 game winless streak. So
but I think now is the crunch time, because last year the bad spell happened now as well. So we just need to not now yet, to be honest, a little bit later, late December and then January.
Actually, it happened exactly at the winter break with the winter break, the winter heavy schedule where we usually crumble. So let's say if we get through that without some heavy casualties, I would say, okay, sure, let's look at the title race. But we can win our next 6 games and then drop 9 points for 5 games.
We were top of the league with Frank in December and then he was sacked.
Exactly. He was basically sacked, I think, 40 or 45 days after he was top of the league. So,
yeah, exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, what a day, what a night. Thank you very much for everybody that has tuned in. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done that yet. Check out mine and Pice's podcast, CFC and Chelsea Unfiltered, CFC Unfiltered on Twitter. New episode in reaction to this game will be out tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. So check that out. Tune in, Spotify, Apple, wherever else you get your podcast. We appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. Up the Chelsea. Upwards and onwards, and we will see you next time.